In the village of Red Hollow, people locked their doors before dark. Not because of thieves, not because of wild animals, but because, many years ago, something learned the sound of a human hand. And once it began to knock, no family in the village ever slept in peace again. My name is Nathan. I am the last son of my father, and the only man still alive who heard that door answer from the other side. What I am about to tell you happened during the dry wind season, when dust filled the air and even the oldest women said the evenings felt wrong. It began with a carpenter. His name was Samuel, and he was not the kind of man who feared stories. He was broad-shouldered, stubborn, and laughed with the full confidence of someone who believed that anything made of wood could be cut, shaped, and controlled. In our village, that kind of confidence was respected. But it was also dangerous. Samuel had skill in his hands. He could carve a cradle so smooth a baby slept through thunder. He could shape a gate so strong even 3 men leaning together could not break it. He made stools for elders, marriage chests for brides, and walking sticks for men who no longer trusted their knees. But the thing that changed his life was a door. Not an ordinary door. A door made from a tree that stood at the edge of the old forest. Now, if you are not from our land, you may hear this and think, wood is wood. That is how people talk before trouble teaches them respect. In Red Hollow, everyone knew that tree. It stood alone where the forest thickened and birds stopped singing. Children did not play near it. Hunters did not rest beneath it. Even animals being chased would turn away from its shadow. The elders said the tree once grew over a shrine so old that even the names of the spirits there had been forgotten. And when the shrine collapsed, the tree remained. That is why nobody touched it. Not until Samuel. The trouble began because the richest man in the village, Mr. Edward Hale, wanted a new entrance to his house. He said his family had grown. His barns were full. His sons had married. His daughters returned with children who ran through his compound like goats on market day. So he wanted a door that would announce power before a visitor even stepped inside. He called Samuel and said, "Make me a door that no one in this region has ever seen before. Let a man stand before it and know he has come to the house of Edward Hale." Samuel smiled the smile of a man already counting his money. He agreed. For 7 days he searched for the right wood. I know this because I was his apprentice then. I carried his tools. I measured boards. I polished finished carvings with oil until they shone like dark river stones. We searched through many trees, but each time he shook his head. "Too ordinary," he said. A rich man asked for something unforgettable. Then on the 8th morning we walked farther than usual. Mist covered the forest. The air was quiet. And before I understood where we were going, I saw it. That tree. Tall. Pale. Its roots twisted across the ground like the backs of sleeping snakes. I stopped. "Master," I said quietly. "Not here." He did not turn. "Bring the tools." I remember the cold that entered my stomach then. It was not the cold of weather. It was the cold that comes when the world is still giving you a chance to walk away. But pride keeps walking. "Master," I said again, "this is not wood for a house." Samuel spat to the side. "Everything becomes wood when the blade is sharp enough." Then he struck the tree. The sound that came out was wrong. It was hollow, like a drum buried inside the earth. Samuel paused. I paused. Even the wind paused. Then he laughed, though not as strongly as before, and struck again. By the seventh blow, dark sap ran down the trunk. Birds burst from the branches and vanished into the sky. By noon the tree fell, and when it hit the ground, the earth trembled. From the center of the broken trunk came a sound like a long breath leaving a sleepy mouth. Samuel heard it. I know he did, because for the first time in my life I saw him hesitate. But pride returned quickly. He cut the wood, loaded it, and brought it home. For 9 days he worked on that door. I watched it grow beneath his hands. He carved 2 long figures facing each other on the surface. Their eyes were narrow, their mouths closed. Yet they looked as if they were about to speak. Around them he carved spirals and strange symbols. "Did your father teach you those?" I asked. "No." "Then where did you learn them?" He shaved away another coil of wood. My hands remember them. The door was beautiful, dark, polished, taller than any man. When it was finished, people from nearby villages came just to see it. Mr. Edward Hale was delighted. He paid Samuel generously, and that evening the door was installed at the entrance to his inner house. When it closed, it made a deep sound that rolled through the compound like thunder. That night, the knocking began. 3 knocks. Slow, heavy. From the outside. Knock. 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 Edward Hale opened the door. No one was there. The yard was empty. The moon was pale. The dogs were silent. He shut the door again. Moments later, it knocked from the inside. By the 3rd night, his youngest daughter had disappeared. Her name was Emily. 8 years old. Bright. Curious. The next morning she was gone. The door stood slightly open, and on the floor inside the room lay only one thing: her bracelet. From that moment, fear swallowed the village, and the old priest came. He touched the carving, then pulled his hand away. "What wood is this?" he asked Samuel. Samuel hesitated. The priest struck his staff on the ground. "What wood is this?" Samuel swallowed. "The tree from the old forest." Silence filled the compound. The priest closed his eyes. "You did not bring home a door," he said. "You brought home a passage." That night the voice of the missing girl called from the door. "Father, please open." But the priest shouted, "If it were your daughter, she would call from the yard, not from inside the wood." The knocking continued until the door was finally burned. But something escaped before the flames closed it. Something that learned how to wait. Years passed. People forgot. Until one night, my grandson returned from the city. He laughed at the old story. And then he showed me a photograph. A burned wooden panel. Two carved figures facing each other. I bought it from an antique dealer, he said. I think it used to be part of a door. At that moment, 3 slow knocks sounded outside my house. And in the yard, something stood beside his car. A small figure. A child. A girl. Her voice soft in the dark. Grandfather, please open. And that was the night we learned something terrible. Some doors do not stay closed forever. Sometimes they remember how to knock.